5 minutes ago, Gene, I think the stars were aligned, but your book just arrived. I'm really happy about that. I didn't get a chance to really open it up and peruse it really quick, but I want to welcome you to Late Night Parents. How you doing, Jane?
Oh, very well. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, stop. I was the one chasing. I was chasing you down, Jane. Come on.
I'm thrilled. I'm
truthful.
a fan of yours. No, I'm serious, man.
So Jane, you've got a great book that I have here that I will start reading tomorrow morning as I commute back and forth from Long Island to New York on the train. And it looks like a very nice, easy, smooth read. There was, from what I read previously, there was about with alcoholism, and you joined Alcoholics Anonymous. So tell us about what led you to, lead us down that roadmap to what led you to writing this book.
Powerlessness. I was powerless over alcohol. I couldn't control my drinking, and alcohol is a twofold problem. It's a mental obsession. I want to drink, coupled with a physical allergy. Once I put it in my body screams for more. So I was in a hopeless state of mind and body. So I had to find a power greater than alcohol to save my life, to keep myself from drinking myself to death.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that happened. Tell us about your book. Tell us about the beginner's book into spirituality. So, for me to understand this book, do I need to have been, belong to a church? Can I be someone that's a new believer? Or tell us about the book.
Not in my humble opinion. And I just, in order to quit drinking, I had to find a power greater than myself. I now choose to call that power God. And God could, I don't believe what you call God, as long as you find a power greater than yourself that you can connect with for internal power, authentic self-worth. So when I found myself powerless and I showed up at AA, they were all talking about God, and I was not happy about it. I thought, oh my goodness, I just want to quit drinking. I don't want to be bombarded with a bunch of holy rollers. I was confused by, was this religion? I didn't understand spirituality at that juncture. So I personally was introduced to spirituality, and it changed my life so much, I felt compelled to write a book about it.
That's awesome. So how long have you been alcohol-free?
September of 2009. Yeah, September 15th of 2009. Yeah. So it's spirituality. I believe my abstinence from alcohol is simply a byproduct of my spirituality. If you can connect to a power greater than yourself, and I choose to call that power God, I believe that's the healing journey. And the transformation changed when externally nothing had happened. I just quit drinking. I was effectively homeless, living with friends. I mean, when it comes to alcoholism, I'm the real deal. I started going to meetings. I hear a lot of women say, oh, I quit when my husband started giving me a hard time, or the boss gave me a hard time. I would just get a new husband or a new boss. The alcohol was my God. So I had to find something larger than that. And when I started praying, and hope was really seeing God work in other people's lives. And it gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, it could work in mine. But when I showed up there drunk, I had no idea what was in store.
That is something.
Yeah.
So tell us about this, because I've spoken with people that have dealt with addictions. Is it an everyday struggle, or is it that you have, you're at peace with yourself?
I'm at peace with myself now. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because when you're in the grips of addiction, the part that my drinking started real fun. I was the party girl. I was the sorority girl. And then the self-loathing came. I will challenge anyone to feel good about themselves when they have to drink first thing in the morning to feel okay. So what I was experienced was self-loathing, and I not only that, I didn't know I didn't love myself because of my distorted ego. So I had this major drinking problem, had no idea, I had no true self-preservation, self-care. Alcohol destroyed all of that. So I was able to recapture that through spirituality. And no, it's not a daily struggle at this point. And I believe that anyone that's still there's hope. There's hope for anyone in any situation. Anything can be turned around. If I can get a second chance, anyone can. I'm not special. Anyone can.
Now, so tell me this, yes or no. Did it start when you were in college, or was it
high school,
after college?
High school. I started partying. I used the partying as a verb because it's fitting, because that's really all I cared about and all I wanted to do. High school. College, I was able to get it together. I mean, I graduated Boston University on the dean's list, but I worked hard and I played hard. The bars religiously in Boston closed at 2, but I'd still be up for more drinking at a fraternity house, or I'd go to Chinatown in Boston where you order cold tea, they'll bring you Miller Lite. So I was a heavy drinker, but in my late 30s, it got to the point where it was, alcohol was the master and I was the slave. It was that kind of relationship. I didn't have a choice. I felt like at the end of my drinking, my body was so chemically dependent, I was drinking to live. As crazy as that sounds.
No, I understand. Because I have friends I have friends that are functional alcoholics that will drink a beer in the morning to start off the day. And I'm sitting there like, what?
Yeah.
One personal question I do have to ask you. Did it increase? Did it start with alcohol? Did it go into drugs, or did it just stay at alcohol?
No, alcohol was what took me out. I struggled with an eating disorder a little bit in my early 20s, but that didn't last very long. Yes, that was difficult, but alcoholism got me to the point where you're either going to accept spiritual help or you're going to drink yourself to death. There was no door number 3. There was no choice in the matter. I was drinking around the clock. I'd wake up in the middle of the night for a drink. It was dictating my entire life. And it did for the last couple of years of my drinking career.
Shane, I want to tell you, I'm not only, like I said, when PR reached out to me about your story, I was so happy to read it. I'm so happy to receive the book, because to see that you were able to use your connection with God and your spirituality to allow you to get past this, because like my mom was a functioning alcoholic, and it was she died clutching that last bottle, and it just wasn't there.
It's real.
It really is real, and that's where it hits home.
And it annihilated my self-esteem. The alcoholism was all encompassing, and I had little to no self-esteem. My ego was still running the show, and there's a lot of denial. Oh, this isn't so bad. You just want to keep it going. You lie to yourself to keep up some sort of charade. But the bottom line is, I realized I didn't love myself, and now I believe that it was difficult for me to see beyond my own pain, to be compassionate towards other people. So when we see, like, I turn on the news, I live in Chicago, and I watch the Chicago news every night, and, people are killing each other daily and hurting each other's property. And I think that's a sign of people's self-loathing. If they were happier with themselves, they wouldn't be abusive to others. And if you're really happy with yourself, you wouldn't be abusing yourself with an obscene amount of alcohol like I did, or be morbidly obese, or be abusing prescription drugs. So that's what I think we're seeing in our culture, is people not really knowing that they don't truly love themselves, because we're confused with all of the selfies and the self-obsessed and self-seeking images.
Yes.
That authentic self-love is something entirely different. It got so bad that for me to learn to love myself, I started real basic. Louise Hayes has instructional videos on YouTube of how you can look in the mirror and give yourself a hug and say to yourself, I love yourself. And just trying to change the inner dialogue of, you're no good, you'll never get out of this, and darn it, I'm worth it. As easy as it sounds, it's an effective method. At least it was for me.
That is so awesome. Hey, Jane, we're gonna wrap up, but tell us best ways to find Love and Compassion is My Religion.
Oh, sure. It's on Amazon and Kindle. Love and Compassion is My Religion by Jane Zarse, Z, the last letter, A-R-S-E. And I appreciate your support so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. And what's the best ways to find you on social media? Like, say, if someone hears this podcast and they want to reach out to you.
Sure. I have a website, www.loveandcompassionismyreligion.com. And I'm on Facebook, Jane Zarse, and my Twitter handle is @ZarseJane.
Jane, want to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.